Hello. So today was a day. I got maybe a solid 2 hours of sleep. Woke up, got a shower, sat down just long enough to drink a single Coke and take my medicine. And then I was off to town. Arrived about 5 minutes early with another sizable group of people who were also just kind of waiting in the car. Got out, went in. There was like four of us kind of grouped together, and immediately we all got lost. One guy went to head upstairs where the courtroom was. I went to follow him. Two other ones got caught by somebody else and they told them where to go. We got all the way almost up the stairs than we were told. Got in line there, and I think almost had a panic attack. I don't know. My stomach was running off this morning and was like threatening me the entire time I was there. So I'm in this line being threatened by my stomach but refusing to go take care of it because that'll just make the whole thing longer. Got signed in, went upstairs, sat on some of the most uncomfortable benches I've ever had to sit on, and filled out paperwork with nothing to bear down on. And we sat around until about 9:15, when by that time I think everybody had checked in. So they went down some stuff with us, they called roll. It really felt like high school with a substitute teacher. But she was nice, at least. And I say that because of the, it's like either first day of school or substitute teacher, because there's a lot of hesitance in a saying a name followed by, am I saying that right? And then they talked us through what we were going to do. To make things more, even and fair, they basically shuffled the list of names and assigned us numbers. And so my W thing was not going to help me here because I was number 7. Just behind a gentleman either my age or a little younger by appearance. I don't know, I didn't really talk to him. Named Nathaniel Drake. And of course I made the joke, and of course he looked at me like he had heard it a million times. And thinking back about it now, I should have made the St. Nicholas joke about my own name. But anyway, we sat there until all like 32, 34 people or whatever had been given numbers. And then they took up our paperwork, which for some reason took 10 minutes. Although I think it was because a handful of people just hadn't finished filling it out because, I don't know. And then we sat until about 9:25, when the judge and everybody all finally showed up. And it didn't hit me how long we had been waiting until they come in. So I was just kind of sitting there dozing off. And the judge comes in and sits down, and he said, thank you all for being here. I know it sucks, but it's appreciated nonetheless. He said, so this morning we have about 6 cases that we intend to pick juries for. But I have good news and bad news. First of all, several of these defendants have changed to changed their plea to guilty, so no trial needed. No jury trial needed. Next, 1 or 2, and I don't know exactly what that's the way he said it, 1 or 2, which is probably just to preserve anonymity. Have basically applied for a different kind of trial that would not require a jury. I don't know. Basically, one that we wouldn't get picked on. He said the last trial, their attorney hasn't showed up. He said, I've been here since 8:30, like most of y'all, trying to get a hold of him. And we finally got a hold of him. And he's apparently in another city giving closing arguments. Or about to give closing arguments on a different case. Whether or not that's true or not, we will find out. And then he said, so the good news is, you can all go home. And we were like, okay, cool. He's like, we'll get, talk to the clerk about getting paid. And she was like, nah, we already handed them out cards, which they had. Judge said, I'm surprised any of you stayed. And then I got in the car and came home. Home by 9:45. So all in all, gone. I was pretty much just there an hour. So for the first time in my life, and possibly the last time of my life, certainly the last time of my life in the small town I grew up in, I made $25 an hour today. It was only 1 hour, and it was only $25. But hey, came home. Dad got up later on, made chicken biscuits. Really good, actually. Really, really good. As in, like, he fried some chicken and made biscuits. Again, really good, actually. Then I booted up Rocket Robot on Wheels, of all things, which is probably the most bizarre platformer from my childhood. Developed by Sucker Punch and published by Ubisoft. Way back when, in the glory days of character platformers, your Marios and your Banjo-Kazooies and Rayman 2. And if it weren't for the one thing that makes most N64 games garbage, which is no one knowing how to get a camera right. Like, if I could just pull the camera away from the character a little bit more. Not bad. I never finished it. I finished very few games in general when I was a kid, now that I'm thinking about it. I mean, not until I started getting to, like, the GameCube era. Because, like, as a kid, I think I only ever finished Mario 64 once. Maybe. I may have even not. I might have given up on the final Bowser. I got to the last boss of Rayman 2, never finished it. Never finished Rocket, it just got too aggravating towards the end. I finished Cruisin' USA. I did finish Paper Mario. That's one I did play to the end. I remember I rented it and got lost in the Forbidden Forest because in the second to last area there's a fork in the road, and one leads to like an extra item or two, and then it's a dead end, and the other one's the way you're supposed to go. And my stupid 8-year-old brain went in one direction and found the dead end area first, and never thought to just look the other way. I wandered through that forest for hours. Literal hours. Not being able to get to the next area. And then I re-rented the game, but it wasn't the same cartridge, so I had to start over. Again, he got stuck in the same spot. Around this time, Nintendo Power was doing all these offers where you could get stuff whenever you signed up for a subscription. So, like, I remember getting a shirt or two, none of which have survived the years. Mostly I would exploit this for guides. And one of them being the Paper Mario guide. I think I also got the guide for Thousand Year Door the same way. But, like, so basically I renewed my subscription and got this guide. And when Mom went to recheck out Paper Mario for me, the movie gallery, there's a name you haven't heard in forever, if ever, just sold it to her. They said, for these last few rental prices, you basically bought this game. We're just going to let you have it, because it's not a popular one here anyway. So I have one N64 game with one of those, those label printer, with one of those label printer stickers on top, and the rest are just handwritten by my dad. But I've got one Paper Mario that's got a label printed label on it, and I did eventually finish it. Still a great game. I should play that again. Anyway, after that, booted up a really old racing game that I used to play a lot, Indy 2000. And I remember, I think I've talked about this before, I think I got this game for two reasons. One, my dad got a steering wheel thing for me to play like Cruisin' USA and Mario Kart and Diddy Kong and stuff. So, like, I was getting into racing games. And two, it came with the expansion pack, and since it was not a it was bundled with the expansion pack, but it was cheaper than Donkey Kong 64 bundled with the expansion pack. Probably because, it was Indy Racing 2000. And then later on, one of my cousins gave me his copy of Dong 64 and just never got it back. So that worked out. Surprisingly, Donkey Kong 64 is a game I finished once as a kid. And it's probably the most convoluted game I finished as a child. But I had a guide for it. I don't remember where I got it. I don't know if my cousin had the guide and gave it to me with the game, or if that was another one that I got with a Nintendo Power subscription. It might have been that. But yeah, I did actually finish Dong 64 once, ages ago. Anyhow, way off track. About 3 o'clock, I crashed hard. I was falling asleep in my chair, so I said, I'm going to take a 2-hour nap. So 5 hours later, I finally got out of bed. I did a chunk of a Dread run that I actually just saved in the middle of. Because I did one the other day and then swapped some splits around. And I put that into practice today, and I quit right after the gravity suit. And man, let me tell you, I was wasting something like 15 minutes, not just by going out of my way to get the gravity, the bombs and the grapple beam before doing Kraid, just fight Kraid. Just fight Kraid. It's so much, and then you can just go get grapple beam on the way to bombs, and it's so much faster. Then I got some of the dishes out of my room, and now I'm laying down, and I think it's only like 11 o'clock. And tomorrow, Statesboro run for groceries and stuff, and Mom's actually going to go with me, so that should be interesting. Anyhow, tired, gonna sleep now. I will catch you all tomorrow. Good night.